At 99 years old, he is still dancing. Not in memory or archival footage, but alive, present, moving through rooms with the warmth only he can bring. The world thinks it knows him from the smiles that lit up television screens and films, but the man behind the joy is far more complex. His childhood was quiet, his career marked by struggle, his personal life marred by addiction and loss. Yet through it all, he persevered, rebuilt himself, and discovered late in life the love and connection that had been missing. This is the story of Dick Van Dyke. Childhood in Missouri. Dick Van Dyke was born on December 13, 1925, in West Plains, Missouri, a small town that offered little to dream about. His father, Joe, was a traveling salesman, charming but rarely home, while his mother, Hazel, quietly held the household together. Dick and his younger brother, Jerry, grew up in a home functional yet emotionally sparse. There was no overt cruelty, only distance, a quiet absence of warmth that left him feeling invisible. Performance became his refuge. Even as a child, he discovered that making people laugh was a way to be seen, a way to exist in a home where acknowledgement was scarce. Discovering comedy. From a young age, Dick idolized the comedy of Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy. He studied their films relentlessly, absorbing not just the jokes, but the architecture of timing, physicality, and silence. At 11, he already approached comedy with the precision of a craftsman. Every stumble, gesture, and expression was a tool to connect with others. Comedy, he realized, was not mere entertainment. It was a language that could bridge distance. In a life marked by quiet isolation, this craft gave him agency. Performance became his identity. The one place where his existence was undeniable, a precursor to a career that would eventually bring joy to millions. Service in World War II. At 18, Dick was drafted into the United States Army Air Forces during World War II. His dream of becoming a pilot was denied due to his weight, and he was assigned as a radio operator and entertainer for troops stateside. Though far from the front lines, this period was formative. Performing for soldiers taught him that laughter was essential, not frivolous, a lifeline in fear and uncertainty. The experience reinforced his conviction that he was meant for the stage. By the time he returned home in 1946, he had no money, connections, or formal training, but he carried a certainty as unshakable as it was irrational. He would dedicate his life to entertaining others. Struggling to break through, the post-war years were harsh. Dick moved from city to city, performing in small clubs and Air Force bases, often with little recognition or pay. He tried radio announcing in Atlanta, Georgia, and formed a comedy duo, the Merry Mutes, with Phil Erickson, but opportunities were scarce. Each rejection reinforced the difficulty of breaking into entertainment. Yet he persevered. Every performance, no matter how small the audience, honed his craft. These years of uncertainty forged resilience, patience, and humility, qualities that would later define his presence both on and off screen. The struggle shaped not just a performer, but a man determined to be fully seen. Crafting a unique voice. Dick Van Dyke's brilliance lay in the combination of technical mastery and human warmth. He understood that comedy was architecture. It required precision, timing, and heart. Every movement, expression, and pause was deliberate. Over time, he developed a style that transcended mere skill. Audiences responded not just to the jokes, but to his authenticity, his generosity, and the joy he brought into every room. This rare quality distinguished him from other performers. His work was a gift delivered without calculation, and that honesty created enduring love. It is why his performances, whether in television or film, continue to resonate across generations. Breakthrough and recognition success did not arrive overnight. Dick spent years refining his craft before catching the attention of television producers and film directors. Once recognized, he quickly became an icon. His performances on television brought laughter to millions of households, while films like Mary Poppins showcased his ability to blend physical comedy with music and storytelling. Despite fame, he never lost the sense of joy that had first drawn him to the stage. Each performance, from small clubs to Disney sound stages, retained the core of what made him unique: authenticity, precision, and a commitment to making others feel seen and uplifted. Personal struggles. Behind the smiles and applause, Dyke's personal life was complicated. He battled addiction, a struggle that nearly destroyed the career he had built through decades of dedication. His marriage of 36 years ultimately ended amid the challenges of his private battles. Yet even amid personal devastation, he continued performing. This duality, public joy and private struggle, was a defining feature of his life. It speaks to the extraordinary resilience required to maintain creativity and connection under pressure. Dick Van Dyke's story is not one of unbroken triumph, but of repeated rebuilding and relentless dedication to his craft. A life of rebuilding. Dick's later years were marked by reinvention and rediscovery. At 86, he found a new depth of love and companionship that had been absent for decades. He continued to work, dance, and perform, demonstrating that age does not diminish joy or capability. This period highlights the human capacity for resilience, healing, and reinvention. Even after loss and hardship, he remained committed to the practice of joy, not as a reward, but as a daily effort to bring light to those around him. His life illustrates that fulfillment is not linear, but cultivated through perseverance, presence, and generosity. The enduring legacy. Dick Van Dyke's work endures because it captures something beyond technical perfection. It embodies authenticity, generosity, and joy, the qualities that make art deeply human. Parents share his performances with children, who in turn share them with their own, creating a chain that spans generations. His influence is not only cultural but personal. Audiences feel recognized, comforted, and inspired. He reminds us that flaws, acknowledged honestly, contribute to the power of a performance and the resonance of a life well lived. Recognition, he has shown, comes not from perfection, but from giving oneself fully. Conclusion. The lesson of joy. Now at 99, Dick Van Dyke lives by the lesson that joy is a practice, not a reward. His life demonstrates the power of persistence, resilience, and authenticity. From small-town Missouri to global stardom, from personal hardship to late-life love, he has remained committed to creating warmth, laughter, and human connection. Each movement, smile, and performance carries a lifetime of effort, struggle, and triumph. His presence reminds us that joy can coexist with challenge, and that the act of giving oneself fully is the most eloquent performance of all. He is still here, still moving, still teaching by example.